matter what it is. Like you can literally take a picture of yourself, mint it on the blockchain, and then have a hexagonal picture of your face as an NFT, and it will be a hexagon.
But do the Bored Apes have a hexagon?
I don't think you listened to how he just said to get one.
Yeah, but if the Bored Apes, it's also metadata, so they should have an hexagon. That's how I feel about it.
No, it's only if you update and upload your wallet and connect it. It's not automatically given.
I understand.
Yeah, he was saying he used a wax wrapper or something. What does that mean anyway? Can somebody explain?
The what? What did you say? Sorry.
Yeah, he was saying, a writer, he was saying he used like something called a wax wrapper, and that allowed him to verify the hexagon on Twitter or something like that.
Yeah, he also paid for his verification, but you know.
Man, this like concept art thing is killing me, guys. Because here it's like all, what's the opposite word for it? You know, we have like street artists here drawing
He's
portraits for
not.
like.
That's not. Please don't confuse him with an actual conceptual artist, please.
Yeah, it's giving a bad influence. You know, the artists here. You know, I've been for a year and a half trying to get street artists to make NFTs and, you know, like show their art to the world as well as make some money, I guess. And then this thing comes on and they're like, what? We can just copy it and make money, do something, and it's the wrong incentive, you know?
I think the reason why I start looking at Ryder Rips was also through Omakase, because I really think that Omakase is still a very intelligent person, and he's creating like new systems and stuff like that. So Christine, to give you an answer, that's also a way I got up with the story and Ryder Rips. So I really think it's awful that they hosted the space today for Hotshot. So I'm gonna ask him next time what was up with that. So, and I'm really gonna say that I don't like these things, man. That's all I can do for now.
No, I'm pretty sure that you could either burn your Ryder Ribs Bored Ape Yacht Club or you could sell it. So there are other steps that you could take. But yeah, I guess just talking to
Don't
him.
take the writer's approach yet.
No, but hosting a space together to dox somebody, that's lawfully wrong in every way.
Writer already doxed the Yuga Labs founders in the BuzzFeed article, which he has taken credit for. So, on that premise, how do you feel?
I think doxing of somebody that doesn't want to is always awful. Like a lot of people know who I am. I'm like doxed, but against somebody's permission, it's unlawful, man. You can't do that. Like, and I really hope that the entire scene takes steps to, um, yeah, to go to the cops and report it and see what happens, because it's a much broader discussion. It's also true what Hotshot says, that it's being doxxed doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna rock pull the community. So I really hope people take steps if they are a victim of being doxxed.
Why they're so scared to get doxxed, man? I don't get it. It's
Well, for certain people, it's really important to keep their secrecy because of their job, because of their things they got to protect at home. And we also have a lot of bad people in the space. Like it was from my point of view or my understanding that even if you join a Twitter space, people can get your IP address and stuff like that. So I really
I'd
think
like to I'd like to ask Bouvet, why is it important for a person to be doxxed?
It's not.
I mean, I honestly think that not being doxxed is better because I'm not going to go into a situation with the perceived notion or any kind of idea of what this person is or who they are. So I don't really see why it's important to be doxxed. So
Yeah, it isn't important to be doxxed. I think context matters, though. If you're actually starting a business with someone and you need to sign legal work and you're starting a company, yeah, then you want to know absolutely who you're working with. But in this NFT space on Twitter and you're just creating your own art and you're just doing sort of your own thing, I don't think docs matters. What I think matters is a track record you can point to, an upstanding reputation, and you've been around for a while. And all those things you can only get through working to being here. You cannot buy a reputation. You cannot buy a track record. You can fake it, but people can poke through it. And getting experience, you can't really buy. You really have to put in the effort to be in this space. You can fake experience as well, but that only works on people less experienced than you. So you can't fake experience upward. That's hard. So you'll mostly work with less knowledgeable people and projects type thing. But the most important thing is that the docs is not really the measurement stick of honesty. Is really not. It's also being undoxed is also used by people that are doxed as a way to point out that nothing you say matters because you're unwilling to show who you are. But you just know that if you would ever be tempted to do that, then they will attack your character. I've dealt with a lot of people that want to attack the character. It's one of the laziest forms of attack. So if you can't attack the argument, you attack the person. If you can discredit the person, the argument falls apart. But that's not really how arguments work. A person can have a shitty past, you could, and all types of things, but the argument could still stand even though the past of a person is shitty. If a good argument would survive the person's character, but someone that is scared of a good argument will attack the character, and some people will fall and try and fall for that sort of trick. And there's lots of dox scammers, and there's lots of anonymous scammers. The point being is the scammers, they're always going to be there, so it doesn't make it safer. And you always have to remember that it's easier to fall prey to someone that's doxed for a scam because of that sort of trust thing, right? A real scammer would go like, you can trust me. I'm doxed. I have a track record. You can look at my LinkedIn. I would never scam anyone. Look at me. I'm out there. You can see my photos on my website. I'm perfectly known. I would never scam anyone. Why would I want to do that? Like, you could find me. That's actually a thing that scammers use to lure people in. It happens multiple times to create false trust. So I don't think it's a good measuring stick. But I also understand it's hard to measure experience, reputation, and a track record because you actually have to put in some extra work. It's a tough thing, but ideally you have a track record and experience, a good reputation, and that is docs, right? But then you're just basically dealing with like full-on professionals, legally as well, and sort of in the same country maybe. But to each his own.
And also, I just experienced a lot of people getting in my DMs for like, don't believe hotshot and stuff like that. So I can imagine that being doxxed for some people, especially when you're in the security or the research business and calling out scammers, it can be very dangerous for your personal life to be doxxed. Because like I'm just here in the space talking to Hotshot. I just like Hotshots and my DMs are filling up quick. So I get this, that it can be very dangerous.
I'm not concerned about my safety, not one bit. But it helps being undoxed if you want to make an argument, because it forces people to a degree to focus on the argument, right? Because if you can't attack a person's past, you can't attack the person because you don't really know the person. All that's left is the argument. But instead of going for the argument, they will then try to point out that, oh, it's a doc, it's on docs, so it doesn't matter. which is a way of attacking the character instead of attacking the argument.
Or technically, you could just be such a good person that like no one can come at you with anything, and you just are doxxed like me. And the only thing he's been able to come at me with is that I smoke too much weed. So let's
Preach,
fucking go,
Christina.
because we all do.
Preach. Fucking be proud of it.
Yeah, but there's also different types of anonymity, and people don't understand that. Doxed or undoxed are not the only options. There's also pseudonymity, right? There's different layers to this. Pseudonymous, sorry, I'm very tired. So there's differences in this, and it's not just those two options, but it's frequently used against people exposing scammers, because scammers want to be in control, right? They want to be in control of a narrative. They want to be in control of a situation. And one way to be in control of something, if you have leverage over them through a dox, and they can threaten them, they can leverage them, right? But if the dox actually doesn't really matter, then the leverage is useless. So it's the way you approach it. I don't really care about my dox. I just think being doxed makes my arguments and the information I share weaker, because then you can focus on a person, on a background, and on character, and takes away from what I'm actually trying to say. And this is not about me. None of this matters about me. I'm probably going to give this account away once I reach 100,000 followers to the person I think deserves it most when I sort of leave the space. And then that person maybe can follow in the footsteps of what I think should be spoken about, right? I don't care about the followers. I don't care about if I make any money off this or anything. But I just think docs in
Is
this
this a
case.
true Dread Pirate Robert situation that you're talking about, Princess Bride? Sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand the reference.
Where he basically, it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Once one goes, like another one just takes over. Like there's another one.
No, that is actually a criminal case, and that's where a planted cop took over an account, and that's absolutely not the case here. So yeah, kind of sad. But
wait, what? I didn't get that.
Hotshot, how long have you been hosting, man? You gotta
I think
You've been here
hours
for like over 12 hours. It's ridiculous.
No,
Damn.
I think 7 hours or something, man.
Damn, your brain must be fried.
Yeah, I'm pretty tired, to be honest. So yeah, I think I'm about ready to go, but I don't know how long I've been here. I didn't even tweet out the space. I think did I? Let me check.
Let's fucking go. No, you didn't.
I didn't even tweet out the space. I think. Yeah, I don't know. I also don't know how many people ended up in here.
No, we just continued this space directly after.
Oh right, yeah, we were on the previous space, and that ended, and then someone said we should make a new space. So I didn't even tweet anything.
It's been about 8 hours. Yeah, maybe 9.
Yeah, so it's like 8 hours or something. Yeah.
Damn.
I know. I was going to tell you to get some water or tea or something at this point, because we all need it.
When you analyze the wallet's transactions, right, do you just go to Etherscan, download the file, and put it into like Excel sheet, or like what do you do?
Good question.
Oh, that's one of the things I do, but I use multiple tools. I also have an algorithm that goes through the wallets. I like Etherscan because you can sort of manually check instead of using these sort of automated tools where you have to sort of, I always like to double check, triple check. So usually I start at Etherscan and then go through everything and then end up at Etherscan again, just to check if what I've done is correct, see if it's actually correct. But yeah, there's lots of automated tools that'll do the work for you.
I won't be able to live without you. This is sad. Don't tell me you're going to be going one day. I can't with this.
It was like
I'm probably going to dox myself at 100K and then leave.
Because I was gonna try to, you know how these a lot of people make accounts for their NFTs like Punk Dad and something, right? I was gonna try something on one of them, and then since I'm a noob, right, I don't know, like I make a new wallet, it needs some gas money, and I have to send it from some wallet. Or people told me like you use Tornado Cash, but it's like it's still gonna. Some people are gonna know it, right? So yeah.
Yeah. There's one one of the algorithms I use actually creates a whole profile of a wallet, like the whole history, and puts a score to it. And if the wallet's been connected to Tornado Cash or to any exploited other wallets, it impacts the score, it lowers the score. So based on the score, I can sort of know, okay, what type of wallets is going on here. Another thing that's really interesting is that I can get low time zone data out of wallet patterns. So if you give me your wallet, I can sort of I can pull patterns out of it, and those patterns correlate with the time that you're awake, right? Because you don't use the wallet if you're not awake, and if you do that long enough with the same wallet, you can get a time zone pattern out of it.
Whoa, and
That's
then what happens?
forensics. Wow.
Oh my god, I just got the Silk Road reference. I'm so slow. I'm also tired too. Hot shot. Oh my god.
Wait, so you get the time zone, and then what do you mean? Like, there's like transactions when I'm sleeping, and then what happens?
You can make a profile.
Yeah, you make a profile of a person, and the time zone is very important to get a profile, because you can fake IPs, right? And you can spoof and all that type of stuff. But time zones are not really taken in a court, not a lot. But good people will fake the time zones as well and adjust patterns. But most of these blockchain criminals don't. And you can exclude, you can sort of extract patterns of behavior through a wallet, and then you can create a profile.
VPNs and things.
Oh, I mean, you can locate somebody with that. You mean, right?
No, not that one thing specifically, but it's one piece of the puzzle. And if you can have enough pieces, then maybe you have something that leads you further down the road. So to say.
Let's say somebody of a project always does things at 4 a.m. or something like that. Then they can, if they see another wallet doing the same thing, they can suggest that it is combined with each other. Or if they try to find somebody, or see when he's doing stuff at home and stuff like that. So it's just about creating a profile about a person. When is he awake, when is he doing all his transaction and all that stuff. Just like catching a serial killer, create a profile. What is he doing?
Man, that's crazy, guys. That's crazy. You guys are very deep into this stuff. That's crazy.
We've been here for a very long time. Well, for some of us, I think we've been here for quite a while and we've seen quite a bit. But I think if you follow Hotshot and a lot of the security spaces, you'll kind of get the gist of what to actually look for, what's going on, who's doing what. But yeah, it's good to know all this stuff, because then you can definitely try and find people through their wallets, their time zones, their actions, their transactions, when they post, when they do stuff. But it's pretty intense, but it's, for the most part, a lot of it's common sense as well.
It's it's interesting. Like, blockchain is not, if you want to commit a crime, blockchain is not the place to do it, man. Think of this: we have these tools right now already, but these tools are just going to advance to a point where all you need is a wallet, and then the tool will just spider web into all the affiliated wallets, and they will get algorithmic scores based on patterns, and you can do that within a couple of seconds, would be my guess. Within maybe 2 years, you could fully have that technology. They're constantly improving that. And if you look at Cybertrace is a very prominent one. It's very good, and you could just pull up any wallet's history within seconds, and you could get different patterns of behavior and scores and see where they're going. And that doesn't create an identity, but what's better than identity is how someone behaves. The identity is something that you catch not on a blockchain, but you catch that in real life or off chain, right? But it shows so much about intention, about what happens. So if you can take something that's off chain, a story, an interview of someone that's saying something, and then you have the wallet and you can see the patterns in there, you can see if that matches what they're saying. You cross-reference the things that are being said and being done, and
You
the
said
actions.
Cybertrace?
and this will be here very fast. And in the future, you don't need to be like an expert blockchain analyst. Like right now, it's kind of clunky. You really need to know things, but in the future, that will get easier. You still need to be able to interpret data correctly and have critical thinking and not be biased and check your own biases and have it vetted by another person, right? All the type of things are very important when you do these things, but those tools can be made. I mean, if you can code, you have time, you can make your own tool. Like I have functions that are not in the analytics tools that I pay for that I've coded myself, just because it makes my work easier. So I have a terminal and I can just pull up data that is needed for me, that I think is valuable, but it's not directly being offered right now by any of these services. Ideally, I'd have the time and just take everything I think is missing and make my own full scanner, even just run it off my terminal or something like that. But I really, have time constraints when it comes to development.
Hey, before you sleep, can I ask also one thing? So I'm an artist, right? I was like selling art for like 0.01, collecting it, and finally bought this V1 Punk. And from this space today, it seems like I bought a narrative, and they said that this is the first one on the blockchain to release, and they were bugged, so they wrapped it. And what are your thoughts on this, man? Like, it's a serious question because it's like the most expensive one I have. I bought it at like 6 ETH or something, but still a lot of money from.
Is there a way for you to rephrase the question?
Yeah, like, did I buy a narrative, right, on this V1 Punks? I guess simply.
If you bought a narrative for the funks?
No,
for
not
the
a funk.
V1 Punks,
The V1 Punk.
which is actually totally different.
Oh, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm not well versed in the history of that collection, so I'm not the right person to answer that.
How did the Lollipop NFT mint went and the Discord? Is it solved already?
No, it's great, man. It minted out,
Nice.
and they're over 1,000 ETH in volume already in 2 days, man.
Nice. Awesome.
So, yeah, that was for people that don't know. There was Lonely Pop NFT collection, which is based on Lollipop, but it's Lonely Pop. It's a mental health NFT, and they were bullied by Grinder Studios that didn't get allow list spots to mint at a cheaper rate. They got bullied into lowering the rates, lowering the prices effectively, and they had to pause the mint because it was one of the most severe cases I've ever seen ever. Like, I've managed a lot of discords and I sat in onto a lot of mint dates. I've never seen anything like this happen. I was brought on to do the security side of it, like the contract, and sort of make sure everything went all right. And I was sort of just monitoring the situation launch. And what happened was something I've never seen before, is that these people, these accounts, newly created accounts, would join the server and all they would do is FUD the same messages, the same type of rhetoric. The price is too high. This is this project is a great project, and it was hundreds of accounts. And I pulled them all up and I checked it, and they were all created in the sort of same time period, and they joined the server one day before mint or on the day of mint, and all their chat history was just that. So it sort of indicates that you're dealing with sort of coordinated attack. But it was very effective. I mean, it helped have the founders so scared that they just paused the mint and just had to. They adjusted everything. They stopped the mint, and they was like, "Yeah, this is it's not good." Basically, the project got bullied into lowering the prices, and they did. And now they've still minted out, and now everything's good. But it's not my project. I have no say in sort of any of these decisions, but it doesn't feel too good for me that a project would get bullied that way. think it's right. I think the founders should have a say and not be personally attacked when they launch. I mean, it's their project, it's their art. They can price it how they want to, right? They shouldn't get bullied for putting a price on something. If you as an artist think something is worth 1 ETH, I think as an artist or as a builder, you should have the right to just value that as 1 ETH, and the market can decide not to buy it. Yeah, and then you can decide,